A lot of people are wondering, when's the Mythic Championships coming back? Or when are Mythic Fests coming back? When are we going to get Grand Prix-like events? And we already have, paper play, not only at the local game store level, but people are, creating 1Ks, 1.5Ks. And we just had the success of the Flesh and Blood event. I mean, as far as I heard, it was a success in Las Vegas. And Channelfireball decided, you know what? SCG-Con's right around the corner. The larger scale events are increasing, and they're going to up the ante. Welcome to Magic the Gathering Las Vegas. You're invited to gather again November 19th to 21st. My God! That is so soon. It feels like tomorrow. That is absolutely insane. Sign up today. No badge needed. I mean, you can just show. Well, it's like if you ever been to like a Magic Fest, it's all. You don't need to actually pay to actually be there. You have to pay to play in the events. Play your way. Well, anyway, long story short, there's gonna be 2 large events, as there usually is. There's a modern event and there's a limited event. The modern event starts on Friday and goes until Saturday, and the limited event will start on Saturday and will go till Sunday. Event will be $60 for modern, and of course they choose modern. You gotta choose the right. You gotta have the right events, people. I mean, no one will show up if it's standard. I don't know. Maybe that will be a good thing. I'm not too sure yet. $25,000 prize pool. It's actually really tiny. And also a 14-round event, by the way. There's 8 rounds on Friday, 6 rounds on Saturday. 6 or 2 or better. No buys anymore. You gotta grind from... This is not an official... Oh, let's get to the safety things. Not only do they require masks. Let's talk about the... Well, come at your own discretion. Safety. All staff and attendees, including you, are to show proof of vaccination, or you have to have a negative test result for COVID-19. And everyone needs to be wearing masks. You don't show up with a mask, you get the hell out of here. And that's actually way better security than they had for Flesh and Blood, because for Flesh and Blood, it was only masks, and that's it. They're like, they didn't care if you had a negative, they didn't care if you were vaccinated or not at that event. Here, you have to show proof of vaccination, or if you're not vaccinated, you have to prove that you don't have COVID. All attendees must wear masks in the hall, so it's 100% masks. And they're going to apparently have plexiglass service. I don't know what that's going to look like. And if you've ever been to Vegas, the halls are enormous. So they're probably going to space us out significantly for our rounds. Spacious queuing, spacious seating. Well, I don't know if this is really a safety feature. We've had contactless registration for a very long time. Probably tons of hand sanitizer everywhere. They're going to regularly clean everything. So anyway, those are the safety precautions that they are taking for this event. Now, mind you, Vegas has high COVID rates. If we talk about Nevada, I'm strongly considering going to this event. A lot of people have already booked their plane tickets, as this was announced just like not too long ago. But if I were to go, the only thing really prohibiting me from going is I'm technically a foreigner. I'm from Canada, so I might have to go through a few more hoops to go there and getting back into my own country. And I want that to be... I want to make sure I know exactly what the protocols are for going there. And what else? And also and of course, I mean, if like COVID rates skyrocket by the time like this thing's coming up, I will most definitely cancel everything. But we've already had a Flesh and Blood event. There is going to be a SCG Con event coming up soon with very similar protocols. And that's about it. So, and then going back to the main event, main modern event, $2,500 for first place, which is crap compared to like what is usually about. Second place, 1,900. Third and fourth place, 1,500. And then got 1,000 for 58th place. A pretty reasonable top 8 actually prize pool, all things considered, for a $60 entry fee. And then the money gets spread out. 19th to 16th place, $700, and a cool $500 for the top 32. But who knows how many people are going to show up. What other? And then on MTG Vegas. Limited event will be in the Stride Crimson Vow sealed deck. I don't care for it. Now, they're still going to have the right... It's like, if you ever been to a what's it called? A Magic Fest. You can get the with the Masters package to get into both events. You can also get the Constructed Events package for $130. You can play as much Modern, Standard, and Legacy over the entire weekend. The Construction Fanatic package includes 3 double-up event vouchers, 3 regular event vouchers. I mean, they're basically hosting their own Mythic Champion, their own Magic Fest. Getting these names screwed up. It was very easy when it was just called Grand Prix. In Las Vegas. This was breaking news yesterday, and these are all the safety precautions. Again, if you did not hear, you need to be either vaccinated or you need to prove that you have a negative test result for COVID-19, and all staff members and attendees need to wear masks in the hall. So 100%. 1,000,000% you have to, well, anyway, these are the safety precautions that they're taking. Vendors coming soon, special guests coming soon. And I guess it's being held at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Anyway, you can look at more of that stuff at mtglasvegas.com. I'm gonna have to get another, if I go, I need another mask, because the mask that I have, it hurts my ears after 2 hours. It badly digs into my ears badly. Jason says an N95 mask and cardboard sounds good for the week. Thanksgiving morning also. I've heard of this one, the N95 mask. This looks like something. Is this something like the surgeons use or something the construction workers use? I can't tell. I'm going to assume it's good stuff. Would love to go, but can't they require masks? And I medically can't. Freaking lame. Well, they have to. Yeah, of course they have to. They have to require masks. They absolutely have to require masks. 1,000,000%. The whole thing would get shut down if they didn't require masks. I mean, at the very least, what's it called? Flesh and Blood definitely required masks. If everyone is vaccinated, why do they need no, it's not counterintuitive. You can still be vaccinated. First off, not everyone vaccinated is going. You need to either be vaccinated, you have to prove that you have a negative COVID test. So not everyone's going to be vaccinated. That's partially a problem. And second, even if you are vaccinated, you should still wear a mask. You can still contract it and then pass it on to someone who is vaccinated, who then passes it on to someone who's not vaccinated. We're not going to dispute. I would be all for everyone actually getting a negative COVID test result before entering the hall, vaccinated or not vaccinated. But we should take the strongest precautions. But anyway, that's the news. That's the news that everyone's fired up on Twitter about. And we'll see how this goes, especially at SCGCon. They're going to have a relatively large-scale event with very similar safety precautions. And we take it one step at a time. So welcome, everyone, to the morning show where we discuss all things Magic the Gathering. Get your questions fired up. Let's have a great discussion this morning. Also, we do Decklist reviews. So if you got a 75, you like some feedback on, hey, submit it to us. And both myself and the coffee crew would love to take a look at that, to give you some feedback on the most interactive Magic stream there is on the internet. So brew up your cups of coffee, coffee crew, and let's brew up some Magic this morning. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for I'm naming random months these days. September 24, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. Good morning. Good morning, Goku, Matt Wax, MTG Ectoplasm, Reap, Tybell, Kaya, Bearer, Temperate. Good morning, Shuck Creations. Good morning, James Giliberto. Good morning, Cody, Walter, GPGP. Here's hoping those lurk heads are out of the chat today. That's right. we got our first hate raid yesterday. El Taco, GPGP. Ready to bump out some bots? Yeah. Get ready for those bots, you mods. Good morning, Coffee Crew. Always like Fridays, but I'm always bummed out we don't get to do this on the weekend. Well, I need some break. I stream 6 days a week. 6 days a week. I use Saturday as like my day off, more or less. I will try to represent the fish fam. I've been hungry for a large-scale event. I have been hungry, and it is modern. Honestly, if it was standard or something, I would just say, screw it, I would not actually go. It has to be modern for me to go. For them to drag me out all over there. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dylan. You don't stay for Decklist review. Yeah, we got a hate raid, actually, in the middle of Decklist review the other day. Do they allow... You have to ask Channelfireball about that. You have to... That's a good question. A lot of cash might pass hands at this sort of event. Oh, speaking of hungry, yeah, we gotta feed the meatball. We gotta feed them. All right, so our sponsors today are FusionGamingOnline.com, same as all the sponsors every other day. Deal of the week, save 15% off all Tempest, Stronghold, and Exodus singles. So if you're looking for those Commander staples, I mean, Mock Diamond not getting any cheaper, and you're looking for a discount, now's the time. Jump on it. Deal of the week is 15% off everything from Tempest, Stronghold, Exodus. And of course, if that deal isn't good enough for you, get an additional 5% off and use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Supports the channel. Also, I mean, why would you leave money on the table? Why would you do that? And also Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. New decks being formed day in and day out every week in Modern. I mean, Modern doesn't stop changing as far as I'm concerned. We got this new Mono Red Eldrazi deck coming out. People are having some success with Zoo. And if you want to try out all the new workings, the new inventions being created in Modern, you're going to want to rent them with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below. Save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu. And he said, oh yeah, I remember. They're just spamming, well, they're spamming some evil stuff, and come to my channel for 200 subs. It's a hell of a stream. What is this thing? Vaccination is preventing to get so bad. You go to the ICU. You can still get sick and pass it on to people. So masks are good. Yeah, of course masks are good. I wear my mask basically 100% of the time if I'm in the vicinity of someone with another person like 50 feet away. It will most definitely get... Well, they had coverage at Flesh and Blood, so I'm assuming that if they had... Whatever they had for Flesh and Blood in terms of service and coverage, they're probably going to do the same thing for Magic the Gathering. So I'm surprised people are so upset about the mask thing. I mean, you just wear a mask. You got to wear the mask. There's nothing else you can do about it. Come on, there's a worldwide pandemic, people. Michael J. from Las Vegas died there because of COVID. Let's not forget about that. And that's one less person I'm going to meet at Las Vegas, and I don't want it to happen to anybody else. The serious stuff. Well, I do my best. I do my best. Is a hate stream? Well, I mean, you can sort of see footage. I mean, I guess I have no idea what they'll show up for the replay. Tragic! Hello, Nikachu. Have you thought of doing a versus series on Twitch where you fight your fans in Magic the Gathering Online like Ben Wheeler did back in the day in Canadian Canlander? Like, sort of. I thought I might do this when trying to experiment for the best Magic deck ever, because I proposed on the internet, if everything was unbanned, if everything was unbanned, what would the best deck look like? And clearly no one knew exactly what it would look like. No one actually had a precise idea. So I thought maybe it would be a good idea. Let anyone take me on. I'll play like some sort of Flash Hulk deck. You can make an even better Flash Hulk deck if you want to, and maybe we can evolve a metagame, but for the most part I just don't stream enough to want to spend one day. I mean, I should spend at least one day every 3 months taking everybody on, though. What makes the red Eldrazi deck good? It's just an Eldrazi deck that can use Chalice of the Void. So let's go to... Oh, let's go. Hold on. Mono red Eldrazi. Or maybe it'd be faster. I go to... Oh no, this is pretty recent. Yeah, Channelfireball has the list. Like it's got the Eldrazi-tron feel to it in that you've got like the good Eldrazi. Well, nothing's popping up. We have Thought Not, Seer Reality, Smasher, Matter Reshaper, but you get to take advantage of card advantage like Bone Crusher Giant and still use Chalice of the Void. Funny enough, it uses Ragavan, which I find funny. So it's instead of the Tron aspect of it, it's using like Burn and Eldrazi Obligator to steal your creature and go for a big attack. One thing is, we should also be open that maybe the deck is not good and it's just a good surprise deck, and people are not prepared for it. People can't anticipate what's in it. So I mean, there's that aspect to it too. So let's see if Mono Red Eldrazi can stand the test of time. But so far, it's put up some two pretty good results. Ty Bell, my brother-in-law 3-1 a local event tournament on Wednesday with Mono Red Burn. My locals is no joke. Well, Burn is doing quite well right now. Burn is doing great. And by great, I mean, yeah, it's up there. It's up there. It's like number, at least according to MTG Goldfish's terrible data, it's number 6. And I'm seeing a lot right now in the leagues. So it's a lot in the leagues. Moving Cardboard recently rewatched the footage of your 2017 Vancouver run. It was awesome, and it was obvious that Marshall, the commentator, was rooting for you. Oh, great. I couldn't tell if they were rooting for me or Josh or Layton, because they're better friends with Josh or Layton than they are with me. Javier, thoughts on Old Growth Troll in the current meta for some good old mono green? Old Growth Troll? Oh yeah, this thing. Okay, so trample when it dies. If it was a creature, returns to the battlefield. It's an aura enchantment with Enchant Forest. You control an Enchant Forest has add double green and sacrifice this land. Create a tapped 4/4 green troll or whatever. You get the troll back. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think there's other big green things you can like. What it was, Steel Leaf Champion, I think actually is reasonable as well. But this is some card advantage in the form of mono green. I don't actually hate the card at all. But though, if you go mono green, why not go green red? Why not splash a color? See, that's the problem with going mono green. What is the payoff for going exactly mono green? But I mean, well, I guess cards like this are vulnerable to Blood Moon. So even if you're playing red Stomping Ground, if you get Blood Mooned, I mean, you need the green from this thing, so I guess there is. If there's enough benefit here, it would work. Rogatron. I guess you can dash the monkey through a chalice on one. No, you can't actually. So when you cast a spell, oh, hold on, let's see. Hold on, let's. By default, I believe no, you cannot. You may cast the spell for its dash cost. Okay, so no, you cannot. See what all. Chalice of the Void does not care about how much mana you pay. It just cares about this mana symbol in the top right. That's all it cares about. It doesn't care about anything else. Mana symbol or bust. So if you dash it and play with a Chalice on one, still gets countered. Yeah, long live Burn. Any Midnight Hunt cards being broken yet? Not necessarily broken. Being played, yes. Broken, no. I remember commentators were freaking out when you top decked the Lord to win game 2. Oh yeah. It was such a sweat. It was such a long grind, especially from like a position of nothing. I had no board, no hand. Josh R. Layton had like Liliana the Veil and a Death Shadow out and a grip full of cards. And then I won the game somehow. You never count out Merfolk. Never count Merfolk out. The MVP from Vancouver top 8 was that Dispel you leveraged like it was a mid. Yeah. I had like a Dispel in my hand. I just held in my hand for forever against Sam Black. Oh yeah, by the way, 3 question marks before the question and 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your questions amongst all the comments that I'm getting on YouTube channels, Twitter. Twitter might be down right now. Oh, maybe I have to... Are we not streaming to Twitter right now? We might not be streaming to Twitter at the moment. There was a big change in the Twitter streaming universe, so maybe we're not streaming to Twitter right now. Or today. Hopefully we'll be back later. But... you can get my attention on YouTube by donating with a super chat. If you donate with a super chat, your question gets pushed to the top of the feed. Can you tell us more about your hair maintenance program? I use something called, damn it, what the hell is it called? Finasteride? There we go, finasteride. This is what I use. Sold under the brand names Proscar, I use that one, and Propacia, among others. It's a medication used to treat hair loss and benign prostatic hyperplasia in men. Well, I don't have that. I got the hair loss part. It can also be used to treat excessive hair growth in women and part of hormone therapy for transgender women. I can tell you, it's good stuff. It works. I don't know about that. I don't know if they're gonna give it to me. Yeah, they told me specifically I gotta, like, they give you, it comes in these pills and I have to crush them in 4s because the whole pill is too much for me. Just for the hair, you just need a little bit. Don't know. We gotta keep the hair. I don't know. Maybe I should talk to them. Hey, look, my entire audience, which is mostly men, are curious about, like, this hair loss treatment medication. Brandon Ortez, now that Magic Fests are back. Well, they're technically not back. They're actually, and we don't know how many of these there are going to be. I mean, we're just starting. They're testing the waters, so to say, but they are technically not back. This is Channelfireball doing their own thing. I think they're going above Wizards' head. I don't even know if this is a sanctioned event. Gotta say, Toronto may be in the cards for 2022, thinking about sleeving up some Neo Affinity. Also, mind you, they might be doing this only at Vegas, because if you've been to Vegas, it's this enormous room. Like, it's more room than you could possibly use, even for a giant GP. So it's the only way they could space people out as safely enough. There's enough distance amongst everybody. So that might be the reason why it's like, I don't know if Toronto has a convention quite like that, unless you separated it into different rooms. But that's how it is going to be at Vegas. There's so much room in Vegas. That might be why they're deciding to only try it in Vegas. Although I don't know what SCG is doing. Is SCG doing it in Vegas, or are they doing it somewhere else? I don't know where their con is. Chernobog, do you think Meat Hook Massacre is an auto-include in most sacrifice decks? Meat Hook Mass? I've never heard of it, so I'm going to say no. Oh, but it's a new card. Black X. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain 1 life. No, I don't see it. It's in most sacrifice decks? I can't say so, and I'm not a fan of, like, I mean, in a sacrifice deck, you probably don't have a lot of mana, because you probably are trying to leverage creatures more than you're trying to leverage, like, big creatures. You need a lot of mana for this. Like, it's double black, and it does nothing by itself, so you need, like, at least 4 mana to kill something on the battlefield. It doesn't look that great. Dylan, I really love playing Esper Control. Are there any new tools or cards that are great to run in that deck? I was thinking Murktide Regent and Dothy. Murktide Regent, definitely. You know what? That's possible. So we've seen from Blue Moon decks that they're willing to run Murktide just as a standalone win condition. So I don't see any reason why you can't do that in other control decks. So you definitely could try to do that in Esper Control as well. And Dothy Voidwalker, of course, is definitely a playable card as a win condition. Brewing got first at my local game store a few days ago. Roiling Vortex in the sideboard was the only addition. Burn barely has changed in the last 6 years. Although I do think Dragon Rage Channeler looks like a good upgrade for the deck. Not every version is playing Dragon Rage Channeler. Just like in the good old days, there was like a war between, do we go Naya Burn or do we go Boros Burn? In the end, Boros Burn won, but situationally, Naya Burn was better. Spencer Ward, Ren 6 is tearing up standard. I'll bet is still early in the season. Is she too high a mana cost for modern? No, I don't think so. But I think she is too high of a mana cost to see big play. Like some deck might want to play Ren and 7. It's possible, but like so it's in the realm of possibility of seeing play. It's a good card, but not going to see a lot of play in a lot of decks. It's going to be really selective. Favorite card from Innistrad Midnight Hunt so far? Champion of the Perished. It may not actually be the best card, but it's my favorite. Even though I don't, I don't really play zombies. Wasn't the Vancouver GP the one where the guy cast Merciless Eviction and accidentally blurted out Enchantment? Not that I know of, or at least if it happened, I didn't hear about it. Any advice for a receding hairline? First off, well, I mean, I can just tell you from my own personal experience. Like, I was thinning around the top of my head, and then if you take finasteride, it will grow back a decent chunk of your hair. Not all of it. Some of your, like, hair follicles are just straight up dead and it's gone. So you're only, if the hair follicles, if there's still something of a seedling left, these sort of medications, like finasteride, will grow it back. However, if the hair follicle at its root is just dead, it's over, then your only option, as far as I'm concerned, is some sort of surgery where they transplant the hair from the back of your head to your front. Just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk hair. Someone's got to make... Yeah, there we go. When you're a billionaire, you get your hair back. You see, this is what billions of dollars can do for you. Money may not buy you happiness, but it will buy you back your hair. It will buy you back your hair. The proof is in the pudding. And I'm sure he's taking some like hair loss medication on top of that, because like once you transplant the hair, you got to keep it somehow, because otherwise it'll just fall out again. And who knows how many... Wonder what the back of his head looks like, because they might have taken a lot of hair in order to make his head that full. This is like might be like $100,000 job right here. Kind of looks like Numot without the hair. It's possible, yeah. Some semblance. Ren and 7 sees play in standard mainly to block Goldspan Dragon. I wouldn't know. I don't know what the metagame is going on over there. Delirium is definitely more difficult to achieve in Burn. Not if you're running Mishra's Bauble. So Delirium is harder, but the Burn decks playing with Dragon Rage Channeler are playing with Mishra's Bauble, and then more or less you got it. I mean, you got like if your Eidolon dies, for example, that's creature and enchantment all in one. But overall, you still got like instant sorcery, land, creature. So you got those 4, and then you just and like all the other Delirium decks, you just have 4 Mishra's Bauble, and you're good to go. Bradley, what do you think of Esper Reanimator? Playable deck. That's what I think. Hey, if you like the deck, tune it, learn it, study it, know it better than your opponents, you're going to put them out of business. Would it be worth it to put Mishra's Bauble in Wurza? Yes, Mishra's Bauble has... I mean, I don't know if it's seen play in... I can't remember if it's seen play in Wurza, but I think it has. Because like it's a good enabler for Urza. But maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it's never seen play in Wurza. Like, it's because you can play it. You don't have to crack it immediately. You can also use it to help you cast your Whir of Invention. And it also helps you empty your hand for Ensnaring Bridge. I swear it's been there. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I swear it's been there. Yeah, Morning and Hair. It's the Morning and Hair lot. Hey, you never know what we're going to talk about on Coffee and MTG. But make no mistake, it's going to be relevant to your life. Nikachu took a stand against going bald. I can tell you, like, all my, my father, his grandfather, my mother's father, everyone is bald, and in my family. I said, we're going to take a stand. I'm going to be the first to not do this. And it's way worse than Elon Musk. Way worse. Not even close. I could see the destiny happening, but I can see the results now. I get to keep the hair. It's good. I look good. And I look good. I think I'm satisfied. It could be better. It could be better. You know, it's not as rich and thick and as full as I would like it to be, but I will be satisfied. If I have this till the day I'm dead, I'll be satisfied. I will accept this. This is an accept. I got there just in time. It's never too late. But I started so late because I thought it was all baloney. I thought, oh, this hairless. You know, it's like one of those infomercial things where they're spraying someone's head with this can of spray paint, and all of a sudden they have full luscious hair. I was like, oh my god, what a scam this all is. This can't be true. If it was so true, why aren't they talking about it more? But well, it exists, so some of it's not a scam. Scott Campbell, I've been playing around with my goblin deck, and I'm pull with the thought of adding Krenko Tin Street Kingpin. Any thoughts if that might be a good addition? Krenko Tin Street Kingpin. Whenever Krenko attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. It's okay. It's okay. What I don't like about this is it takes a little bit of time to get value out of it. I mean, you might have the goblin that gives all goblins haste and you can attack it immediately, but I know the 3-drop slot is really clunky for goblins. They got a lot of good goblins at 3 mana. I would say the card is okay. The card is okay, but it doesn't blow my mind. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, if you've got like a few lords out making this thing bigger, it's going to attack for a good chunk of damage and put a bunch of tokens on the battlefield. It's not too hard to work for. It's not too hard to work for. If money can't buy happiness, then you are shopping at the wrong store. I like that. Shopping at the wrong store. Moving Cardboard, how much of poker playing skill translate to MTG play? I would say the play, not so much. The philosophy, yes, because when it comes to, you gotta understand the statistical nature of poker. There's a lot of random chance. There's a lot of stuff that's out of your control, and the same thing applies to Magic. So when you're making plays in Magic, to some extent, you are making plays based on a range of possibilities that your opponent can take. And also, it's based on potential top decks that you might make or your opponent might make. You're going to be making plays based on your outs, so to say. So there is that skill that translates to Magic. There's like a game theory optimal way of playing. El Taco, my local game store, is starting to do 10 proxy limit legacy. Is Merfolk worth it, or should I build something else? We have 10 proxy limits, so I mean, Merfolk's okay. It's not the best deck in Legacy. It's definitely not proven to be that way. I don't think there's anyone championing Merfolk in Legacy at the moment. It's okay. It's a deck. It can get the job done. But, you know, play it at your own risk. Trevor, you're promoting hair products now. Is weight loss and PP enlargement next? No, I don't need that because I don't have a problem in either of those territories. But, you know, I'm just telling you people what I do, what I use. I know a lot of people out there, they like... I'm curious how many people are going to start buying finasteride. First off, it's a prescription medication, so make sure you see a doctor. Make sure finasteride is right for you. I'm just saying what I use. I hope that's okay. I'm allowed to talk about prescription medication on stream. This is what I do. I should just say the main thing is that, you know, this hair loss thing, you can fight it. There is a way to beat it. And hence why I guess you see those Keeps adverts. You know, I know the professor at Tolarian Community College now. I wonder if he even uses it. Maybe it does. I don't know. He has like a full head of hair. But I used to think it was BS. I'm just putting it out there. I used to think it was all BS. It's not BS. I'm proof in the pudding. Look great on stream. My hair is pretty thick, but it's just on my head. Oh yeah, I'm dead gorgeous. And Nikachu's already married, so he doesn't have to worry about it nowadays. That's true, but I do it for me. I do it for me. I still gotta look at myself in the mirror every day. And I'm like an internet personality at this point. Just grow a trendy mustache and you'll be all set. I mean, I guess you gotta be bold. You gotta be bold and brave to have a mustache in 2021. I want to get those Moxes for 1,000, Lotus for 3,000. Oh, the days. I know. It's too bad. Well, it's not too late for your hair. It is too late when it comes to the reserve list. Can I destroy Urza Saga with Break the Ice? Of course. Why not? They probably made this card partially for Urza Saga. Destroy target land that is snow or could produce generic mana. Go to Urza Saga. Urza Saga gains, add generic, or sorry, not generic mana, colorless mana. Colorless. There's a difference between generic and colorless, people. There's a difference, but yes, it will blow it up. Boom! A lot of things blow up Urza Saga. What do you use for sleeves, and do you double sleeve? It's funny you asked that. I am going to make a video about shuffling cards soon. It's in the works. It's being edited by my editor. I actually have it right here. We got Dragon Shields. I use Dragon Shields right now. I use Umbers and Night Blues. Not sponsored by Dragon Shield. You hear that, Dragon Shield? You might want to pick me up really quick. I mean, I'm free and open on the market here. You don't want Ultra Pro to come by and scoop me up first. Don't be making any mistakes, Dragon Shield. I literally use your product. But if Ultra Pro sponsored me, I'll be like, I use Ultra Pro now. Ultra Pro. And now I use Dragon Shield because it's like, well, first off, they just work. I mean, they're very durable, they're reliable, and I do double sleeve. I use KMC perfect size sleeves. I use the KMC inner sleeves. And it works out very well for me. And you should double sleeve your cards. Okay, so like I have this pile of Jaces that I like to shuffle at my computer, and look how dirty it is. It's dirty as hell, super dirty. But if we take the sleeve off, if I take the sleeve off, can we see? Yeah, we can still see the dirt. There's surface dirt on the sleeve because the dirt still gets through. It just won't, and it gets all the way to the bottom. Can you see that? Under what conditions? Because it's focusing on my face, not the card. I don't know what angle I can get it at. You can sort of see specks of lightness. Anyway, but when it's double protected, let's see. I'm gonna look for myself. Yeah, nothing's coming through on the card when it's double protected. But the inner sleeve is so dirty, and that'll happen to your cards. Then congratulations, you just lost 30% of the value on your cards. When you try to trade those things back in, they'll be like, this isn't near mint at all. You might have bought it for near mint, but this is like, you know, it's all dirty. The surface damage is crazy. So you got to double sleeve your cards. Oh, well, also, I dumped an entire thing of coffee in my bag. I put a mug of coffee in my bag with my Legacy deck and my all foiled out Modern Merfolk deck. And it was completely submerged, but was safe because of double sleeving all my cards. I had to withdraw from that tournament to save my cards. That was like a really scary day. There was one casualty. There was one foil Japanese swan song. A corner is like a little soggy, and one unsleeved regular Cavern of Souls died that day. At the time, it was worth like $35. Today, a lot more than that. Can you play more Historic Merfolk and Legacy Merfolk? I'll play more Historic Merfolk, but I gotta do it like sparingly. Because the first Historic Merfolk that came out, everyone watched it. Then the second one is like, nah, I'll pass on this one. The third one is like, nah, they barely saw it at all. So you guys like the Historic Merfolk, but you just can't binge it like you do with Modern. Magus of the Bargain. Best artifact to drop into the battlefield in Modern on turn 6 with Dakon Shadow Slayer. Best artifact? I don't know. What do you guys think? Someone trying to make a Dakon list. I keep forgetting this card exists. It's got -6. Put any... you may put an artifact card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. I want to say something like... I'm not sure. We got Mindslaver as a suggestion. Another Mindslaver. Why would you put coffee in your bag? Because I thought the thermos was airtight. I was fucking wrong. I knew it wasn't airtight anyway. I just thought it was standing up. I thought it was propped up properly. Anyway. It wasn't my brightest moment. It wasn't my brightest moment, but that's why we double sleeve our cards. So we insure ourselves against our stupid decisions. I'm very smart in some areas in life and then just completely oblivious to other ones. But as you know, I love my coffee. I take it with me everywhere. Apparently, I put it in my bag. So what do you guys? Blight Steel, Blight Steel. I don't know what's the most efficient. Here's the thing. I think it would be ideal that you have something that you could cast without Dakon Shadow Slayer. So that's a problem. Like, Wormcoil Engine sounds like a relatively good suggestion, in my opinion, because if you start flooding out, at least if you can get to 6 mana, you play a Wormcoil Engine, and boom, you got a Wormcoil Engine. But take Blightsteel Colossus, for example, which a lot of people are suggesting. Like, how good is your deck when this is in your hand and you have nothing to do with it? Like, you don't have a Dakon out. And by the way, your Dakon is not going to get to -6 all the time, because it's just going to... I mean, it doesn't protect itself that well, in my opinion. I think often you're just going to exile a creature with it. Very, very, very often. So, I actually have respect for this, the Wormcoil Engine suggestion. So, like, if you're at 3 mana, you tick this up and you're choked on lands, maybe you can get a Wormcoil Engine in play over some turns. Like, I think you should have some just value plays out of this. So you can, like, -6, put Wormcoil in play, hold up counter magic or something. Blightsteel can be brought back from the graveyard. I don't know what this Dakon deck looks like. Freaking Person. Okay, what was yours? A deadly... The thing is, my chat, like, constantly jumps all over the place. Like, I'm in a chronological order up to a point where my chat decides to, like, I don't know, refresh or update, and then all of a sudden everything gets screwed up. Where is your question? Where is your question? Say your question again. Give me your question. Try to see it. You gotta still use the question marks. By the way, you gotta use the question mark. You don't use the question marks, I'm significantly less likely to see your question. Can you use your hair product for a thicker beard? That's a good question. I do not have the answer to that one. That is a very good question, though. I don't know if you can get a thicker beard. I think the idea is that you regrow hair that you're missing. I don't know if it produces thicker results. Like, my hair is thin. I have thin hair. And taking this medication didn't change that, really. It just repaired all the hair follicles that were dying. That's the way I was understanding it. It's like every hair follicle has like 3 hairs coming out of it. And then as your hair is dying, then it's like 2 hairs, then 1, then nothing. Or just like a little seed, and then the seed dies. Javier, thoughts on Modern Elves with Rite of Harmony? It seems like the flashback thing might make a difference. I don't think so. They tried it with Beck and Call a long time ago. Beck and Call... was tried in Elves. That 1 mana makes such a big difference. Now, it's possible that Rite of Harmony will make the difference because it's white, it's Selesnya, and that's more in line with what Elves wants to do. I mean, they already have cards like, what's it called? Devoted... They've put the Vizier combo, Devoted Druid and Vizier of Remedies, in the same deck before as an Elf deck. That has seen play, so that it does have synergy in that way. Because Beck requires you to play blue, and Elf decks don't want to play blue. So maybe that's possible, but for the most part, no. Oh, here we go. Super chats work. Weekly super chat for the king. Thank you very much, Dan Reed. No, you are the king. You're the king of super chats. Thanks for the $2. See, this is how you cheat the system. You donate the money and then you get priority. Only works on YouTube though. Initially thought, based on the way the question was worded and me not knowing what Dakon does, that the ability was based on CMC. No, you just put an artifact in play. But the thing is, like, it takes a turn to, like, keep ticking the stupid thing up. Well, that's why you gotta keep showing up every day. Yeah, Sir Butterballs, I miss questions. You engage with everyone you can. There's, yeah, a little... Well, today's 150. I mean, in the past, we had 350. We had 250 to 350. So, I mean, your odds these days are way higher than it was before. Hair Club. The more you got, the more we can help? What? Kaya, there's a thing that people use minoxidil on beards to try to grow them out. But with mixed results, it seems to be based more on genetic, whether or not it works. Yeah, that's like a common preventative hair loss solution. I didn't want to spend the money on it though. Once this medication was working, I'm like, ah, fuck it, I don't need anything else. Oh, actually, that's not true. I use some very specifically prescribed shampoo. They might have a smidge of minoxidil in it. Anyway, we can't do this all day. We do have to move along to Decklist review. All right, you got a 75 you want to share with us? You want to get some feedback? Some free feedback? It's not pay to win yet for Decklist review. Go into my description. There is a link to my Discord. Join the Discord and you'll be eligible, or join the Discord, then go to channel Decklist review and you'll be eligible at random using the command !review deck space, give the URL to your deck list. You'll be chosen at random for Decklist review. Minoxidil is great, but a common side effect is sometimes crippling headaches. That's terrible. I have absolutely no side effects as far as I'm concerned. Oh, actually, there was supposed to be a side effect. It was supposed to be impotence or something like that. Your, like, sex drive is supposed to go down. I totally forgot about that with finasteride, but I have no problem. Nikachu has no problem. Results may vary. Results may vary. When is hairline review? If you want to submit pictures of your hairline, we'll talk about, you know, whether you could use some work or not. What deck list makes you groan the most when you see it? Decks with a lot of one-ofs. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta read so many more cards. That's why we don't do commander deck lists here. I mean, we don't do... We review any deck list, any format except commander and limited. Yeah, strong like a bull. Alright, let's look at some deck lists. Thwomps! Congratulations. Oh, by the way, we're clearing the deck list today. It is the end of the week. But then after the show today, you can resubmit your deck list and you'll be eligible for next week. Mono green at Mana Elves. The best type of elves. The mana ones. We got Elvish Mystic, Azuri's Archers. 1, 2, or 3 each. Whenever it blocks a creature with flying, Azuri's Archers gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Draga Tree. This is, what are we at? Modern? Is this elf creatures we own deck? Draga Tree Speaker, Draga Warcaller, Elves, Paradise Druid, Pollen Bright Druid. When it enters the battlefield, you can put a +1/+1 on target creature or proliferate. Elvish Archdruid, Azuri. Immaculate on target creature for each elf you control. So you can like make a huge elf. One gigantic elf. Tyvar Kell. Elves you control have add a green, as if they don't all have that already. You can put a +1/+1 counter on target one on one target elf, untap it, it gains death touch until end of turn. You can create an elf, and you can go -6 to get an emblem. Whenever you cast an elf spell, it gains haste until end of turn, and you draw 2 cards. Okay, so first off, this is crap. This is crap. This is crap. This is crap. And I actually think the Immaculate Magistrate is crap. Tyvar is pretty good, though. I have no problem with experimenting with this card. This is very neat. Well, not every deck plays Craterhoof. Not every elf deck plays Craterhoof. They play Azuri. Once you have infinite mana, or effectively infinite mana, you get Azuri in play, you pay the big cost, and boom, you win. I don't mind I think this is actually a really good card. I think this card is very, very good. You go 4 mana, put an elf in play, at least chump and protect this damn thing. Also, oh, but it only gains death touch until end of turn. That sort of sucks. I thought it would be death touch until your next turn, so it's good. It can create really good blockers. Okay, Genesis Wave, Lead the Stampede, Elvish Promenade, Harmonize. If you want big mana, I mean, you need to make big mana. These things don't add, this doesn't add mana. This does, you should have at least, what's it called? Heritage Druid? So that your elves make mana. I think you just need to make some small adjustments. I'm not in love with the Immaculate Magistrate. It doesn't add much value. It turns whatever elf you have on the battlefield still vulnerable. I mean, it's a pretty expensive spell in it by itself. I want to say you should at least have the Heritage Druid and Dwynen's Elite. Dwynen. Did I spell that right? I did! I can spell Dwynen's Elite. 2/2 for 2 mana. Enters the battlefield. If you control another elf, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So, I mean, I would fit, though, because that will give you the mana that you can, like, in theory, combo off between Elvish Archdruid and Azuri. Thought on Soul Talisman. Might add it with Soul Ring. What's Soul Talisman? You know what? I think if this was broken, it would have been broken by now. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. The thing about Soul Ring, though, is that it's for your early mana plays, not your late game plays. So, like, having this mana by turn 3 is not as good as just having it on turn 1. But it's playable. It's not bad. Actually, it's a really good pickup for $1. It's really cheap. I might buy one just because it's so cheap. Like, I don't know if people have... I mean, this definitely is worth more than $1. Or, like, more than $2. Elvish Warmaster is a good one. So, yeah, let's go look. What is Elvish Warmaster? I also think it also puts a token in play. Whenever one or more elves enters the battlefield, yeah, you get elves. So that's 12. That's 12 cards. So where do we make room? This is like, this doesn't do anything. It has reach, big deal. And maybe you want to block a Ragavan. That's probably not what you want to do anyway. And they'll kill it if they really need to. This thing is 2 mana intensive. So that's 3 slots. Llanowar Elves is fine. You probably should have more elves. Paradise Druid should just be another Llanowar Elves. So this is 4 slots. Pollen Bright Druid is just... I mean, it's a 1-of for a reason. I think you're looking for some really big janky ways of winning with Genesis Wave. Like an Immaculate Magistrate, but it's just too slow for Modern. You gotta have some more individually powerful creatures. So I would take out the Immaculate Magistrate. I do like Tyvar Kell, though. I really like this card. This emblem is boss. Elven Ambush. Where's our Elvish people here? Create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token for each elf you control. I'm medium on this. Well, if we go Nettle Sentinel, now we're going deep into like an OG elf deck. I mean, okay, hold on. How can we help this deck? I see you want to try to do some token thing, but I know the token thing doesn't work. Or you're not all, or I would say you're not all in on this token strategy. Like you're called mono green mana elves, but I see you want to put counters on creatures, and then you want to double them with like Pollen Bright Druid because you proliferate with it. Well, Steel Leaf Champion isn't played traditionally in these types of decks. Elvish Promenade, create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token for each elf. Oh, we have this type of card already. And Harmonize, Coat of Arms. Like these cards are really out of place. You're not focused. Okay, so you have a bit of a proliferate strategy, you have a bit of a token strategy, and you have a bit of like a regular mana dork strategy. You gotta stick to like basically 1 to 2 of them, because you're a little all over the place. And Rancor means nothing in this deck. It's just dead weight. Leyline of Abundance. This card's like okay, but like if it's good, you play more of these. Yeah, you're just in too many directions. Genesis Wave is good if you create a lot of mana. Like I have nothing against Genesis Wave. I think it's a pretty cool card. You put any number of permanent cards with X or less among them on the battlefield, and you can even get things like you can even get your Tyvar Kel with this, right? Yeah, permanent cards. So if you have a good chunk of mana, you can just burn it on a Genesis Wave. But you need to set up that mana, and you'll do that with things like Elvish Warmaster, Dwinnen's Elite, and Heritage Druid, especially Heritage Druid. Yeah, I like the idea of tokens. I would like the idea of tokens more than I like the proliferate strategy. It's just easier to lend into because some of the creatures already do this. Like Dwinnen's Elite creates a token, Elvish Warmaster makes a token. So I might... Well, it's a bit late to get this thing out, though. I think it is, actually. I don't know if this deck needs it, though. So if you have 4 mana for... Well, I guess you need a lot of mana for Genesis Wave. Okay, I'm gutting Coat of Arms, Rancor, Leyline of Abundance. I guess we can keep one Doubling Season. And you have to jam as many of these cards in here as possible. Dwinnen's Elite, Heritage Druid, and Elvish Warmaster. So 1, 2, 3. I'll get rid of the Harmonize. This is pointless. 4. Maybe the get rid of the Magistrate, and then get rid of Archers, Duraga War Speaker, and this Pollen Bright Druid, and make one more Llanowar Elves from the Paradise Druid. And I guess that is okay. I guess, and then the Elvish Promenade might be fine. Maybe you can add one more Doubling Season somewhere in here. But you can't do everything at once. I know you're trying to do that. I don't think you can do everything at once. I don't even think you have enough. I don't think there's enough Genesis Waves to achieve this entire thing that you're trying to do. So that's my recommendation. Good luck with the list. Friendly Casper. If I ever meet a ghost, I want it to be friendly. Yeah, it's the classic mana engine thing, but this deck actually needs more mana at any given time. It's trying to cast things for like 4 and 6 and 7 mana. Altar of Emry deck. Apparently it's a copy. Modern. Fiery Islet. We got a blue-red deck with Urza Saga, Serum Visions, Banishing Knack. A blue. Until end of turn, target creature gains return target online permanent to its owner's hand. Interesting. Dispel, Retracting Helix, same thing. Until end of turn, target creature gains return whatever to its owner's hand. Altar of the Broad, whenever a non-token... Whenever another... Colin, do you have a description for this? Copied deck. Well, that doesn't help me. Okay, we gotta read this whole deck. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top. Okay, so you basically mill for each permanent that comes here. We have Mishra's Bauble, Mox Amber, Molten Nurse. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, Molten Nurse deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Okay, so you cast colorless spells and it deals damage. Battered Golem. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever an artifact comes into play, you may untap Battered Golem. Emery, Lurker of the Lock. We all know this one. Nettle Drone deals 1 damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, untap Nettle Drone. So, hold on. You tap, deal damage. But what's with the Helix cards for? Okay, hold on. So, doesn't untap, but you can target this thing to bounce your Mishra's Bauble or Mox Amber back to your hand, and you have infinite taps and untaps. Because you tap, bounce it back, the 0 mana spell back to your hand, play the artifact, it untaps, but then what do you do with it? Whenever you cast the... So if you have... Oh, okay, so you have Nettle Drone. Whenever you cast the colorless spell, this thing will untap. Yeah, basically you Traction Helix on a Battered Golem and the 0 drops, and then this thing will finish off the opponent. Because otherwise you just don't do anything. Well, you don't loop anything, you just cast them. They don't come back. It's not like I cast Mishra's Bauble and I get a draw a card. I have to sacrifice it, but then I can't put it back in my hand. Cyborg, Blood Moon, Leyline of Sanctity, Tormod's Crypt, and Welding Jar. Well, it's not pure jank, because at the very least, you got Emery to bring some of these pieces back. But the problem is, how do you protect your combo? You have a very vulnerable combo. Your combo depends on you playing Retraction Helix or Banishing Knack on a creature, and that creature needs to live. Altar of the Broad and Nettle Drone for whenever another permanent has a battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card. Okay, so so you can also, but it's all based around the Battered Golem. Everything is all in on Battered Golem. The mill card is just an alternate way of winning with Battered Golem, because you put a permanent in play, it's gonna mill them, and then you keep doing it infinitely. So here's the deal. How do we protect our creature? Should we have, like, Pact of Negation in this deck? You have Dispel. Maybe this should just be Pact of Negation. Because ideally you're just going to win on the spot anyway. The moment you play, like, Retraction Helix, the game is over. Ideally. Can add Intruder, Alarm, and Ornithopters. I don't know if we can... The list looks a little tight. Whenever you cast a color spell, Molten Nursery deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So everything is based around the Battered Golem, but you need to find the okay, 2 things. You need to find the Battered Golem, and you need to either milling it into your graveyard, and you need to protect the Battered Golem. I mean, I guess you don't have to protect it too badly. You can get Emery to bring it back, but you only have so many of these, like, Banishing Knack and Retraction Helix cards. That's not a bad idea. Well, I don't know. Because this thing doesn't have haste. Well, it can't be 2 budgets playing with Blood Moon. Well, I want to be even more mana efficient than that. Yeah, 1 Serum Vision. We got 1 of Serum Visions right here. What does Serum Visions do? It draws a card and scries 2. Boots? I don't know if Boots does enough. Like, okay, you try to equip with Boots, and then they could just kill the creature. I think we want to be as mana efficient as possible when protecting it. Oh, maybe that doesn't work. Does that work? So the problem is, if they try to kill it on their turn, you can't Pact of Negation, because then you have to pay for the Pact on your turn. And you can't combo at instant speed. So I guess we can't use Pact of Negation. I don't really have much to suggest. The only thing I would be, if something, you have too many of one card. Like, you have too many, okay, here's what I think is a problem with this archetype. I shouldn't say the problem with the archetype, but the problem with your build. You have a lot of ways of comboing with Battered Golem. You've got Nettle Drone, you've got Molten Nursery, you've got Altar of the Broad, but you don't have a lot of good ways of protecting this Golem. And it's all on the Golem, or you're dead. How about well, you have to add black for that. And also, we have a semi-problem getting this Battered Golem, because we can mill it with Emery and then get it back. So Sir Butterball says boots. Maybe we need boots. Maybe we should have boots instead of, what is it, Molten Nursery? Yeah, it has hexproof, so you can still target it yourself. Yeah, maybe we play some boots. Small Teferi to protect your combo on your turn. It's possible. Ooh, I like that one actually. Psymaster Thopterist. So we have Psymaster Thopterist is like just a really good card in general. Like, it can win the game by itself in a deck like this. I might have Psymaster Thopterist instead of Molten Nursery. Okay, my mistake. Too many Psys. Like, whenever I play... I mean, I think more decks should just be based around this card. This card is just so disgustingly strong. I think the deck is already playing Urza Saga. We got it up here. Lightning Greaves, I think, gives Shroud. Yeah, Shroud is no good. Because then you can't Retraction Helix. Because we need to cast Retraction Helix. We need to target our own creature. But there's something here. I don't know what the right build is though. There is something here. But the question is how to protect this creature or even find. I don't know if we need to find it. I mean, that's another thing. Like, what if we just play like 3 Psy Master Thopterists somewhere? Let's say we take out the 2 Molten Nurseries, 1 Nettle Drone, and we're not all in on this Battered Golem thing. And Psy by itself can win the game by itself. And then if it doesn't win the game, then we also have the Battered Golem as backup. And this will distract a lot of removal too. So that's not really a bad idea. Like, this will distract a lot of removal away from the... And we don't even need that many. Maybe we should go 4 Psys, because at the very least, Urza Saga is going to find the Altar of the Broad, or Brood, in order to alternately combo off with the Battered Golem. It probably could be blue-white. You know, I honestly don't see the purpose of red. I mean, I think the idea of red is for these cards, but they're wholly unnecessary with Urza Saga and Altar of the Brood and Emery in the deck. I might go all in on 4 more Psys, and then if we want to splash another color... I mean, it all depends on how useful you think Blood Moon is. Although Blood Moon shuts off your own Urza. You know what? Maybe we're gonna play this deck. I'm gonna download this thing. How do I download? Did I download this thing? I don't know. If not, I'll figure it out later. Anyway, those would be my suggestions, and maybe we'll play something like this on the weekend. make some interesting variation of it, because there's something there. There's something there. It's not perfect yet, but there's something there. Well, anyway, that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG today, people. Thank you for joining me. If I didn't get to your comments, questions, or deck lists, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. I better clear the queue. Clear queue. All right, now you submit your deck list for next week. If I didn't get to your comments or questions or deck lists, we do this, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. If you love Coffee and MTG, you love how we talk about hair loss treatment, you can drop a sub to me at twitch.tv/Nikachu MTG. You could support the channel at patreon.com/Nikachu MTG, or you can hit the join button on YouTube. So thank you very much, everyone, for making me a part of your daily routine. Would also eliminate the need for retraction helix shenanigans. What? What do you mean? Well, I mean, that's the whole point of the combo, so we have to keep that around. We got to keep that around. Hercule's recall for protection. That's a bit weird. Where can we watch you? Where can we watch you play it? Twitch.tv on Sunday. So I might play that list. I'm gonna take a look at it, but we might play a few. We might play a game or two with it. So thank you very much for joining me today. As usual, keep brewing up that coffee, and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. I'll see you next time.